The Socratic cornerstone. I know that I know nothing, but the passage takes it further than Socrates did. It is saying that the recognition of a boundary is itself a crossing of that boundary. To know you are ignorant, you must be standing outside your ignorance long enough to see it. That moment of stepping outside, that is where wisdom begins. For there is a difference between a man who knows many things and a man who knows the shape of what he does not know. The second man is further along. This is the most poetic and truthful line in the passage. Every great artist, scientist, mathematician, and mystic will confirm this intuitively. Einstein called it the mysterious, the source of all true art and science. Keats called it negative capability, the ability to sit in uncertainty without irritably reaching after fact and reason. Creativity is not a product of thinking, it is a product of stillness beyond thinking. The intellect is the translator, not the source. The great all that powers forth from an external perception of self. What is an external perception of self? This is the experience of witnessing oneself. What Eastern traditions call the observer or witness consciousness. It is the moment you are no longer inside your thoughts but watching them. From that vantage point, all becomes possible, because you suddenly perceive yourself as independent, one with you and yet beyond you, simultaneously vast and small. Creativity as yet unseen, hovering just beyond the intellect, that great awe that powers forth from an external perception of self. The divine, by definition, must transcend all categories. The intellect, however fundamental, is an instrument of category. The intellect does not generate the great ideas. It receives them, then works to justify, structure, and communicate them. Creativity is not a product of thinking. It is a product of stillness beyond thinking. The intellect is the translator, not the source. This awe is not an emotional excitement. Its truth is closer to what Rudolf Otto called the numinous, a trembling, overwhelming encounter with something that is wholly other than you, yet somehow intimate. It is the feeling that there is more to you than you can think of. The art of thinking is insufficient in the evolution of things. As a passenger of time, I have come to unveil this truth, that the men of the past, those who voice echoes from the grave, the custom and traditions of ancestors is but a path taken, for they had to think and act as the did so the presence may come to be, forecasting their level of awareness and, more importantly, their ability to comprehend and translate it. Now, the presence must not dwell in the graves of the past, nor shall we remain within the veil of ignorance. The presence must think as the present, to birth the future and not the past. Most of human civilization operates between sensation and intellect, of which the passage is calling us to move upward, not by abandoning the intellect, but by outgrowing its monopoly on knowing. Let's call it the sensory reduction problem. The complexity of life is caused by the constraint of the intellect to gain understanding solely from the prospect of the senses, that which we can see, touch, and feel. In the realm beyond the physical, Logic and intellect is but a translator mistaken for a speaker. The intellect, by design, filters reality through the five senses. But the senses were built for survival, not for truth. They show to us but a narrow bandwidth of reality. We can only see 0.035% of reality. We cannot see ultraviolet or infrared. We cannot feel magnetic fields like birds can. We cannot hear frequencies beyond a small range, and neither can we perceive time at quantum scales. But all that is a limitation of the past, because we are able to do exceeding more than we think we can. For there is more to the unseen than the seen. Nonetheless, it is impossible to know the divine through intellect, for intellect feeds the ego. The complexity of suffering, the passage suggests, comes not from life itself being inherently chaotic, but from using an insufficient instrument to measure it, and then wondering, why can't I be up to my desired peak, my goals and targets? Why am I never fully satisfied? The intellect is too disconnected from the ether life force, and the eternity in all things is too focused on itself to comprehend the existence of dimensional phenomena outside its frame of reference. Why? Here is why. Because the intellect is not and cannot be a part of divinity. The ego thrives on intellectual superiority, finding validation in complexities. Solving something intricate feels satisfying, cracking a difficult problem feels genius, and uncovering a groundbreaking revelation brings euphoria. This is the beauty and mandate of the intellect, its egoistic wills of importance. This is why the mind is drawn to complexities. It feeds the ego's desire to feel special and accomplished. Logic creates closure. It takes open, infinite questions and gives them edges. That is comforting. But those edges are artificial. They are the walls of a room we built so we wouldn't have to face the open sky. Logic can only work with what it already has. It recombines, deduces, infers, but only from existing inputs. It cannot reach beyond itself. It is a closed system trying to understand an open universe. They appear to be logical, rational, and maybe even sensible, but when you look at it from an esoteric point, it does not serve you to any degree. The key to serenity is not in satisfying or suppressing your egos, but rather in harnessing and reducing your preferences. Now, absorb this. The very intellect that cannot reach the divine is the thing writing and reading. These words about why it cannot reach the divine, this is not a failure. It is actually the intellect doing its highest and most honest work, pointing beyond itself, that which it mostly cannot. When you are constantly associating and identifying with passing thoughts. Like a hand pointing at the sun. The hand is not the sun, but without the hand you might never have looked up. That's humility. The intellect acknowledging its own ceiling may itself be the first step out the room it claimed was locked. If intellect cannot reach the divine, what can? What aspect would you like to go deeper on? The epistemological angle, the mystical traditions, the neuroscience of creativity and consciousness, or the practical implications for how we live? The passage hints at it, the awe of creativity, the internal-external perception of self, but the fuller answer across traditions tends to be through self-mastery. Silence, the cessation of mental noise. Love, not sentimental, but radical, unconditional openness. Presence, pure being without the commentary of thought. Grace, something that comes to you from you, not something you achieve. Once one has greased the key of mind, For all individual who have attained any degree of self-mastery to do anything to a certain degree, more or less unconscious. But the master does this consciously by the use of his will, and attains a degree of poise and mental firmness, almost impossible to believe on the part of the masses. The truth that lay within these words can only be reprieved in the darkness of the night, for within its truth by the rising sun you shall be reborn. To your own path thou must be an observer of the great will, for he knows the great cause, although to other he may be their guide. You are an external quantum energy occupying an avatar, a brilliantly alchemical conduit sensory machine, experiencing this reality through the egoistic mind within the simulacrum construct titled Earth. For the iteration of the experience, you are the source experiencing this reality through an infinite spectrum of form and dimension. There is only the endless oscillation between material and ethereal. All realms of reality are simulative, for energy need to oscillate between form and formless in order to expand and develop itself. There is no wrong or right, there are only choices in energy, in which you choose to partake in. And that energy you choose to exude shall carry your being and consciousness into future iterations of the experience. To be completely in it while also being completely aware of it is where wisdom lives. This split awareness is simultaneously immersed and detached. That is the way of those who have mastered reality. The development of oneself is an essential attribute toward mastery and artistic freedom. The beauty of awareness can't be expressed only through experience can you fully grasp its true beauty. In the whisper of the silence, I have seen all that there is. We are everything. We are the cause as we are the effect. We are the problem as we are the solution. This is but a game been played, and the play we play is this. We bet on ourselves to find ourselves while we search for our true self. For only then can we truthfully say that we have understood the truth of life.